Welcome to Lucifer Within Us. This is a, I think, cyberpunk murder mystery game. It was recommended to me by, if I remember correctly, Steam, because I had played so much Romance Christmas, if I recall. You can find information about this game in the description below this video, and if you want to see this stuff live, you can catch me every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern on twitch.tv/onion_steege. Let's get started and see what happened to Lucifer. 100 years without murder. Good job. 100 years without demonic possession. Then this. I am Sister Ada, exorcist and investigator. This is my testament to the massacre at St. Walpurga's Abbey. Oh, like Walpurgis night. It is truth. Do not believe the lies of my accusers.
Sister Ada, welcome.
Oh, sweet, it's voice acted. Also, fuck, it's voice acted. Why would you have exorcists if there hasn't been a murder or a case of demonic possession in a century? It just seems like weird that you would keep that skill alive.
A demon may be present.
Thanks for telling me how this whole situation that I know about works. Newly appointed voice of Ainsof, who is secluded to receive an aether cornet implanted at the workshop. Well, let's take a look at what's going on here. We got evidence, we got items. Let's check the corpse first. Yep, she's dead. The Mother Miriam's body, a valuable piece of physical evidence. New entry has been added to your evidence panel, which can be found on the lower left of your display. There, you can access detailed information about Mother Miriam's body. You must present them to the suspect in order to discover any contradictions. The body is completely unharmed, but her head is exploded into a mess of bone and blood fragments. That would count as harm to the body. Found near Mother Miriam's body, parts of the amplifier component and bits of the casing of is a coronet a real thing? A small or relatively simple crown, especially as worn by lesser royalty and peers or peeresses. Used to open and close the consecration chamber, only openable from outside the chamber. Usage record shows it was operated twice this morning. Used to activate and control the consecration chamber. Usage records show that the aether output during the ceremony was well beyond safe ranges. So this was an intentional killing. If I can just go into their mind palaces, why don't I just do that now? Found a Gideon's workspace in pristine condition. Component is required to safely install the cornet without causing an aether oversurge. Okay, that's sus. Am going to murder the nun. Place the coronet and the recipient in the chamber. The performer and the recipient pray in silence. Begin the song to start modulating the aether. Intensify the aether output by bringing the performance to a crescendo. Interesting. Is that what's going on down here? What do you got over here? What is this? I don't even know. What is this? The devil's herb. I knew something nefarious is afoot. The Abbey must be purified of the scent. I should dispose of any that I find. Are you guys smoking the devil's lettuce over here? Plans for constructing the aether coronet. The purpose of the device seems to be amplified the user's aether output. The components are amplifier, casing, and limiter. Plans for constructing the aether coronet. The purpose of the device... Oh, yeah. Found a Rubens workstation and plans for restoring a relic that was recently brought to St. Walpurga's by Father Augustine. So that might just be nothing. Let's talk to Gideon the Younger.
This is madness! I will not suffer this injustice!
Yo, dude, how about a hello or a how are you?
I am Gideon the Grand.
You are Gideon the Lesser.
Of our generation. I am blessed. I don't know what went wrong this morning. My hands are guided by the divine.
I see only gaudy trinkets here. Mother Miriam died by your hands. Is that not so?
No, why would I want to harm her? Mother Miriam was my patron. She loved me like a son. I did nothing wrong. The consecration chamber must have been compromised. Sister Ada is here to seek the truth, Gideon. You have nothing to fear if you are innocent. Please hear Gideon's testimony, Sister Ada, and judge for yourself if he speaks true. Testimony of the suspect is divided into events. You can access detailed descriptions of events by hovering over them. You can manipulate the timeline marker to navigate to any moment in the testimony. That's fancy.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony. I've performed this many times before, so I was confident.
Oh, this is very clever. This isn't even in his mind palace. This is just him telling me about shit. Interesting that they have a stealth cone of vision situation.
Reuben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber. Meanwhile, I adjusted the coronet's amplifier.
Wait a second. Let's re-examine what he said about Miriam's arrival.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony.
Gideon does not mention Reuben being present while greeting Mother Miriam. Oh, I just ask. That's suspect in any statement in his testimony. Has this been verified? No, not corroborated or specified. Were you alone when you greeted Mother Miriam? Yes, I was certain I was alone then. He was sitting alone if one of Reuben will corroborate this. For now, let's finish hearing the rest of his testimony.
To prepare for the ceremony, I ordered Reuben to take Mother Miriam to the consecration chamber.
So this is expecting you to find like very minor details. The chamber could have only been opened twice, though. Once to let her in and once to get to the body. So I'm wondering what his brother has to say about that. Because that doesn't necessarily mean that that's Miriam's body.
And began the ceremony itself. The aether output was within safe ranges.
That could just be a look-alike. Hey, yo, what are you doing here? Damn. Yeah, see, the door opened 3 times then. Actually, no, we can just check to see if the door was open to begin with. Oh, I can just ask him, alright, what do you think about this? Recognize this component, Gideon. It was found at your workstation. The coronet limiter. Impossible. But the explosion, how can it be undamaged? Someone must have removed it from the coronet prior to the ceremony. All but ensuring that the ceremony would end in a bloody mess. I had nothing to do with this. Why would I sabotage my own work? Why indeed? Younger brother casts the casing and ornaments of implants and handles the ceremony aspect of installation. Yeah, I know all about you. Fuck you. Let's see what Reuben has to say.
Surely there are no demons here, though. This was an accident, wasn't it?
Keep in mind that Reuben's testimony may differ greatly from Gideon's version of events. If an event is corroborated by another suspect's ceremony, it will be marked as verified on the timeline. So unless 2 people lie to me, this part of his testimony is rather long and repetitive. Let's move ahead to the next session. Try to stop the ceremony.
When Gideon activated the consecration chamber, I immediately felt something was wrong. I begged Gideon to stop, but he didn't listen.
Heard enough. Let's leave him for now. No! Now I've heard testimony from each suspect. Let's think carefully. There's only one truth to the chain of events this morning. I doubt either brother has stole it to us. So we must rely on Ein Soph's greatest gift, our minds. There are 3 ways we consider what we've discovered. First is deduction, since there can only be one truth. If 2 things don't align, one or both of them are false. If Gideon and Reuben do not agree on something, someone is lying. Or if what they say does not match the evidence I find, then they must be lying. Second is induction. I should base my theory based on what I discover. If my theory does not align with any of the testimonies or evidence that I find, then I should discard it. If 2 theories are both possible, then I should prefer one that has more information that supports it. That said, usually induction is not enough. Finally, abduction. I must hypothesize what could have happened, filling gaps in information with my imagination. This is the fastest and most powerful way of thinking, but also the most fraught. I should engage each of the 3 ways in order to uncover the truth. I guess we should just show the 2 suspects the evidence that I've got and just see what they say. This was never supposed to happen. Mother Miriam, I'm so sorry. I can at least be comforted that her death was painless. Well, for one brief moment. My masterwork was perfectly fitted in Mother Miriam's brow. Even in pieces, you can see the sublime beauty of my artistry. A woman is dead. But this can't be all you found. Where is the limiter? There was a safety device? The aether limiter was supposed to protect the coronet from an oversurge. Additionally, it was a crown jewel of the coronet. I suppose it's shattered. Damnation. These door access records show the chamber was sealed during the ceremony. There you have it. Proof the ceremony was performed flawlessly. Perhaps what curious, the door was open twice. First time when Reuben opened the chamber to let me or the Miriam in. The second time was just before the ceremony started, when you closed your eyes and prayed for guidance. When the true God is my witness, I swear it is truth. I kneeled and listened for his voice. It must have been Reuben who opened it, for some reason. He was always skittish about the slightest possibility of malfunction. How exactly do you operate the device? Do you press the keys, much like a normal organ? That's a crude way to phrase it. There is much artistry in the performance. The rhythm and melody of my music affects how the energy is transferred to the implant. I already know about that. What do you think about this? Consecration ceremony is meant to be glorious, beautiful. Is that Reuben's little chart? He sure loves making things complicated. True art comes from the soul. Nothing that mess of lines and wires expresses the beauty of the coronet. Do you know anything about this? Is that Reuben's little project? Whatever keeps him busy. It's fine by me. No? Alright. What do you think about Mother Miriam? Mother Miriam was my guiding light. I would have done anything for her. I would never harm her. I swear it. What do you think of yourself? Oh, you just told me what you thought of yourself. What about your brother? Reuben is my dullard brother. He's practically my assistant. Okay, you're a real charmer. Okay, what do you got to say, buddy? What do you think of Miriam? Mother Miriam is our primary benefactor. Interesting. Without her patronage, we wouldn't even have this workshop. I loved her. If only she hadn't trusted Gideon as a boasting, maybe she'd still be alive. Gideon is my delusional younger brother who seems to believe fame equates to talent. I'm ashamed by his recklessness today, and furious that Mother Miriam would pay the price for it. And now it's the evidence shuffle. What do you think about this? This is a nightmare. I've always taken extra precautions so nothing would ever happen. Here we are. Mother Miriam would be still alive if Gideon was more careful. What do you think about this? Are those the only pieces found in the chamber? I see the casing and the amplifier, but the limiter seems to be missing. How could that be? What do you think about this? For safety reasons, the button is the only way to open the consecration chamber's door. Wouldn't want anyone's head to explode. The control panel is used to modulate the ether output in the concentration chamber. Gideon always insists on performing the ceremony. You should ask him about it. Yeah. What do you think about this? Found it on Gideon's desk? It's no wonder the coronet exploded. The imbecile must have forgotten to replace it after adjusting the coronet's amplification. Despicable. Concentration ceremony is an installation process to augment someone's public speaking abilities. That's it? The concentration ceremony chamber is sealed during the ceremony to prevent nature. It seems it wasn't enough. What the hell are you talking about? Improve their public speaking. Mother Miriam's coronet was built according to these exact specifications. Gideon performed the ceremony correctly. The coronet would have been safe to install. And then what do you think about this? That was what I was working on during the ceremony. Father Augustine, a visiting scholar, asked me to help restore this relic. I'm quite proud of my work in it. It should be ready for tonight's mass. Who's this? Father Augustine is a scholar of daemons and etheric technologies. He's made truly remarkable discoveries in theoretical works. Okay. What do you have to say about this Augustine character? My brother idolizes that man. I don't understand it. Theories and histories, pointless. I don't need to understand things. I'm Gideon.
Mother Miriam came to me for her consecration ceremony.
I can't jacuzzi or contradict yet. Gideon claims the aether output values are within safe ranges, but the control panel says otherwise. Let's present the control panel to him and unmask his lie. So I have to find a hole in their story and then use the evidence that contradicts what they say. You lied, Gideon. The ceremony wasn't safe. The control panel's records show the aether output values were in abnormally high ranges. Huh, of course it was. Mother Miriam wanted the coronet as powerful as it could be. But I am Gideon the Grand. With my talents, I had it under control. I made no errors. Something else is wrong. I just don't know what. Gideon has admitted his testimony. Let's examine maintain control. The statement from Gideon's testimony is now verified for 2 reasons. It has a shorter time frame and describes a clear set of events, and its testimony is consistent with the records from the control panel. I can assume that any verified statement like this is true. What's more, the contradiction weakens the suspect's resolve. His eye of providence glows, which allows me to enter his sanctum, the digital representation of his mind. What? The fuck? Let's use his third eye to enter his sanctum and see what truly motivates the suspect. I'm in your brain, dog. Whoa. I'm sorry. He's a narcissist. I could have told you that. Crack the outer layer of his sanctum this time. Let's examine the psychological evidence that we found. This information will help me discern which of his statements to trust. Let's quickly examine each statement in his testimony again. Some of them are now supported by his psychology. Oh, so they are. Oh, so I have to verify as much as possible and then build a timeline of the truth. I must find correlation between the suspect's behavior and existing demons. Let's open the demonology. Lucifer, Beelzebub, Xanathas, Lothan, and Lucifer. Probably Lucifer guy. If the suspect is possessed, there could be a psychological evidence as a clear correlation with the demon. To obtain further psychological evidence, I must find more contradictions and present them to the suspect. I can accuse the suspect. J'accuse. I must establish the opportunity, means, and motive of the crime. I can try as many times as I wish, but there's only one true answer for each section. So I to establish the opportunity. Sure. When could I have possibly harmed Mother Miriam? During the ceremony. How about this one? Good. If it's a valid answer, the suspect will be forced to admit they could have committed the murder at that time. Otherwise, the suspect will give a counter-argument as to why it is impossible. You performed the ceremony yourself. That's to give you ample opportunity to hurt her. Yes, I performed the ceremony, but I did nothing that could have harmed her. I need physical evidence, and I've got physical evidence. The limiter. Same as before, the suspect will accept any evidence if it's valid. I do like the thought of the criminal being like, I didn't do it, I never did it, I never saw this person, I've never done it before. What about this bloody knife that you were holding? Well, it's a certain possibility that I could have, but I'm telling you I didn't. And deny if they can explain why I'm wrong. Well, you were adjusting the coronet, you removed the limiter. That's nonsense. You really think I would forget to replace the crown jewel of my masterpiece? Let's establish a motive. And you present psychological evidence from their own sanctum. You're a narcissist. If he's the culprit, then presenting him with the correct motive of the daemon will compel him to speak the truth. If not, he will deny my claim. You are a self-absorbed man. Everything you do feeds into your pride. To you, Mother Miriam was a mere prop for your masterpiece. You carelessly caused her death in pursuit of artistic glory. How dare you? I took the utmost care in everything I did for Mother Miriam. The coronet was designed to be worn with her. By her. Without her, it will forever remain imperfect. I would never risk anything that harmed my work or my Mother Miriam. I loved Mother Miriam. The accusation was unsuccessful, which means I must investigate further. Let's cancel for now and leave the suspect. When could I have done any of this? During the prayer. If I was in the beginning. Oh, yeah, you're right. What about Gideon? What about when Gideon and Mother Miriam were praying? I was still working at that time. Do I have proof that he wasn't? If I do, I should contradict him first before accusing him. No one was inside the chamber other than Mother Miriam. Okay, so I have to make this... Yeah, make this break into a more specific thing. Claims he reported back to his workstation. What does Gideon say? Let's switch to his testimony.
To prepare for the...
Gideon claims that Reuben opened the door to the consecration chamber. Let's go back to Reuben. Oh, I see.
Gideon convinced her to move
So
forward
Gideon was a red herring. You fool! I've got you. Reuben Garriman, you did not return to your workstation after the discussion. Gideon ordered you to open the concentration chamber for Mother Miriam. Ordered me? Is that what he told you? Despite his illusions, Gideon is certainly not my master. I did open the chamber, it's true. I apologize for the omission. It's a regular part of our routine, and it slipped my mind earlier. You know, like a liar! He amended his testimony. Let's examine opening the chamber. It's now verified for two reasons. Corroboration and specificity. How did you immediately feel something was wrong? Why'd you ask Gideon to stop? Why not force him? Couldn't you open the chamber or push Gideon aside? Interrupting the ceremony would have been more dangerous than killing her. Had I opened the chamber, the energy would have been let loose in the workshop. Had I pushed Gideon away, no one would have been controlling the energy gathered within the chamber. In either case, my actions would have resulted in a greater catastrophe. After what happened, Gideon still thinks... Oh, okay, so that's not the right angle. Okay, so I am out of time for this episode, but this has been Lucifer Within Us. Go play this game. It's got a really good art style, and I think that the mystery mechanic, the investigation mechanic, is really well fleshed out and thoughtful. Unfortunately, I have one brain cell, and I have a really hard time at mystery games like this, so I was mostly checking it out for the potential of showing it off to you viewers. So I hope you enjoyed this. You can find information about this game in the description below this video. You can find me on social media at the CJ Andrew on Twitter and Mastodon, Facebook.com/S15Studios, S-15Studios.itch.io, where you can find all of my Tabletop games, including Cyborgs and Cigarettes and Crumbs from the Master's Table. And finally, you can find everything else that I make, including articles and short stories, such as an interview with a Poto 5 about Roman's Christmas, and a short story about a bad headache home remedy at s-15studios.squarespace.com. Once more, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.